Hello students, next we have finished that determinant chapter. So next we move on to the next chapter, that is integrals. So we have studied what is the differentiation and what is the derivative of a given function, how to find the derivatives. If a function is differentiable means we can find out the derivative of that function. We can find out the derivative means what is the change, rate of change of a given quantity. Rate of change of a given quantity, that we can find out if the function is differentiable. What is the, if one function is given means what is the rate of change of that function according with respect to some other quantity, that can be calculated by the method of differentiation, and that is what that if the function is differentiable, then only that can be possible. So if a function is given means f is given and we have to find out the derivative f dash. If f is given, then f dash will be the derivative of that. So f dash of x can be calculated. If f dash of x is exist, and if this is also possible to derive this function f dash of x is also possible to find out the derivative, or from the derivative if it is possible to find out the what is the previous function. So given derivative is the derivative of which function. So if it is possible to find out, so that is called the antiderivative of the function. When the f dash of x is given, if it is possible to find out f of x, then that f of x is called is the antiderivative of the function. If f is given, f dash of x we can calculate, and that f dash of x is what? That f dash of x is a derivative. When f dash of x is itself is given and we have to find out what is f of x, then that f of x is called antiderivative of f. Antiderivative. Therefore, we can calculate the antiderivative of a given function. That means we can find out what is the function for a given derivative. Then that is called the antiderivative. So in this antiderivative, finding antiderivative is also called as the integral value of a given function. So in this whole chapter, we are going to study the antiderivative, or one more name for that, integrals, integral value of a given function, or the antiderivative of a given function, that we are going to study in this chapter. So along with that, so we have some application of this antiderivatives or integrals also. So we can find out the antiderivative directly. So that is called the indefinite integrals, and sometimes we use this integral value to find out area under the curves, given curve. So one curve is given, so below that some area is bounded in some curve, then we can calculate the area of that region by calculating the antiderivative or by calculating integral. So in that case we are using a definite integral. So there are two types of integrals we are going to study in this chapter. One is definite and one is indefinite integral. So this is the introduction of antiderivative. Next, so integration is what we already have told. If f of x is given, we can find out the derivative. If derivative itself is given means we can find out the given function. So that means what? Integration and differentiation are the inverse process, inverse to each other. Integration and derivative are the inverse of each other. Integration is the inverse of derivation, differentiation, and differentiation the inverse of differentiation. Therefore, integration as an inverse process of differentiation. Integration as an inverse process of differentiation. Integration is an inverse process of differentiation. So that we are going to study now. So already have told differentiation and integration are the inverse process. So how we can make out it is inverse process. So I know that everyone know that a derivative of sin x is equal to cos x. Derivative sin x is cos x. Also, or I can write a derivative of derivative of tan x is a secant square x, or I can write a derivative of derivative x cube by 3. So x cube derivative is 3x square by 3 is x square. Or we know the derivative of e power x is e power x. So e power x, that we can write. So this is what we know, the derivative sin x is cos x. We know, everyone knows derivative sin x is cos x. If I find out the antiderivative of, now we have, this is f sin x, derivative will be cos x. Now I have to find the antiderivative of, so that means what, I have to I have to find out the antiderivative of cos x. So what is the antiderivative of cos x then? That becomes the sin x. That becomes the sin x. So antiderivative of secant square x is was tan x. It is a derivative. Antiderivative means we have to find a derivative of this one. So what is the antiderivative of x square then? Antiderivative of x square is x cube by 3. Similarly, antiderivative of e power x is e power x. Therefore, if I find out derivative of sin x is cos x, then that antiderivative becomes, so antiderivative cos x is what? Sin x. Antiderivative secant square x is what? Tan x. Antiderivative x square is what? X cube by 3. Similarly, antiderivative of e power x is e power x. So these are the antiderivative. So one more thing, derivative of sin x is cos x, and also I can write derivative of what is the derivative of sin x plus c? So c is any constant. I can take any real arbitrary constant. If I consider derivative of sin x plus c, sin x derivative is cos x, then derivative constant is anyhow 0. Therefore, derivative or antiderivative of cos x is sin x, as well as antiderivative of cos x is sin x plus c also. Sin x plus c also. Therefore, the antiderivative or the integral value of cos x, it is not just sin x or sin x, it is not just sin x. So we can write many family of equations by giving a constant c, that a constant c can take any real values. So by giving the constant value, the antiderivative of cos x can be written as sin x plus c, because the derivative of sin x plus c is cos x, and derivative of sin x is also cos x. We know that derivative constant is always 0. Therefore, antiderivative of cos x is not just sin x, it is sin x plus c. So here c is arbitrary constant, or constant of integration. We call it as a constant of integration. So similarly, derivative of tan x is secant square x. Therefore, derivative of tan x plus c also is also secant square x. Is also secant square x. Similarly, derivative of x cube plus 3 plus c is also x square, because derivative constant is always 0. So derivative ex plus c is also ex plus c. Therefore, generally we can write derivative of f of x. Derivative of f of x is f of x, and also derivative of f of x plus c is also f of x. Derivative of f of x plus c is also f of x. Therefore, this f plus c, so if derivative of f of x is this f of x, means the antiderivative of f of x is f of x. Derivative of f of x plus c is f of x, in the sense the antiderivative of f of x is f of x plus c. Therefore, this f of x plus c gives a set of integral values or family of antiderivatives. F of x plus c, this implies what? This implies f of x plus c gives a family of antiderivatives of f. A family of antiderivatives of f. So this you can write down in the notes. Integration as an inverse process of differentiation. So what you have to write is derivative sin x is cos x, and just write example, as well as along with that you write derivative sin x plus c, tan x plus c, and all that. If after writing all that, then you write, therefore derivative f of x is f of x, and derivative f of x plus c is equal to f of x, is equal to f of x. Therefore f of x plus c gives a family of antiderivatives of f, where c is the arbitrary constant or constant of integration, constant of integration. Therefore this is about the inverse process of differentiation, and that means what? Inverse process. Integration and differentiation are the inverse process, inverse to each other, that we can make out from this. So this is just a definition or the derivation. So this we till here we have called that is antiderivative. So one more name is that is for integral value. So antiderivative is cos, antiderivative cos x is sin x, or we can call it as a integral value of cos x is sin x. So how we denote that? Integral, we write it as integral of f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c. We write this as integral. So this indicates how to read this: integral of f of x with respect to x. F of x dx, in the sense what? Integral of function f with respect to x is f of x plus c. F of x plus c. Here this f of x is called integrand. F of x is called integrand. F of x is integrand, and x is called variable of integration. Variable of integration. This is called variable of integration. And suppose it is asked integrate. Suppose in the question it is asked integrate cos x, integrate tan x. So that is what you have to find out, the integral value of the given function. So that is the meaning of that. Then an integral of f means an integral of f, if it is given. Integral means the integral value or the antiderivative of f. That is the meaning of that. Next, integration is what? Integral means, integral is the value of the what is that? Integrand, value of the integral. So that is called the integral. Integration is what? Integration is the process of finding integral. Integration means the process of finding integrals is called the integration. Similarly, differentiation, process of finding derivatives is called the differentiation. Similarly, process of finding integrals is called integration. And c is what here? C is the constant of integration. So these are the terms you should know always. Suppose it is given, means the meaning is integral of f with respect to x we have to calculate, and in this f of x is called the integrand, and x is what? X is a variable of integration. With respect to that we have to find out the integral value. And integral in the sense what? Integral means the value of integration, the value of or integral means value of the function. What is the integral value? What is the value of that after integration what we get? And integration is a process of finding integral. Process of finding integral. So and c is the constant of integration. So you make all that list, so that terms are very important while calculating the problems. So this is about the inverse integration and differentiation, or the inverse process, inverse to each other. So next we are going to write some of the derivatives. So we have already learned derivatives of many of the functions. So using that we can write integral value of the functions. So standard results I am going to write now. The first one is we know that the derivative of x power n is what? N into x to the power n minus 1. N into x to the power n minus 1 is the derivative of x power n. So if I take derivative of x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 is what? X power n plus 1 derivative is what? N plus 1 into x to the power n. Anyhow, n plus 1 is a constant, denominator is a constant, so n plus 1 cancels. So we get derivative is x power n. Therefore, integral of x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. You should remember always we have to add plus c always. Why we have to add plus c? Because we know that in derivative of sin x is also cos x, and derivative of sin x plus c also cos x. That means it gives a family of antiderivative, not only one antiderivative, family of antiderivatives. Therefore we have to add plus c in a indefinite integral. So this is the indefinite. So there is no definition from here to here it is defined. It is indefinite integrals. Now we are discussing about indefinite one. Next we are going, if there is a limit from here to here, we have to integrate. Suppose there is a limit, then we have to, that is called the definite integral. Now these are the indefinite integrals. So derive our integral of x power n dx is equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. There is a condition, n is not equal to minus 1. Why n is not equal to minus 1? If it is minus 1, then the denominator is not exist. So this is the first one. Second one, so first I have written what is the derivative, and then from the derivative I have calculated what is the integral value. So next, along with that, what we can write, derivative of x is what? 1. Derivative of x is 1. Therefore, integral of 1 dx is equal to what? X plus c. Derivative of 1 is what? X dx. Next, second one. Derivative of sin x is cos x. Derivative of sin x is cos x. Then, therefore, integral of cos x sin x plus c. Derivative of sin x is cos x. Therefore, integral of cos x will be sin x plus c. Derivative of, we know the derivative of cos x is minus sin x. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x. Therefore, I can write derivative of minus cos x is derivative of minus cos x is what? Sin x. Therefore, integral of sin x dx is equal to minus cos x plus c. Minus cos x plus c. This is the integral of sin x is minus cos x plus c. Next, derivative of tan x is secant square x. Derivative of tan x is secant square x. Therefore, integral of secant square x dx is equal to tan x plus c. That is tan x plus c. Next one. So we have many derivatives as well as integral values. So so no need to write integral values. If it is enough to write no need to write derivatives, it is enough if you write integral values. So next one is the same, tan x we have written. Next we know that in derivative of cot x is minus cosec square x. Cot x is minus cosec square x, therefore I can take a derivative minus cot x is equal to cosec square x. Therefore integral of minus cot x plus c. Next one, derivative of secant x tan x. Therefore integral of secant x tan x dx is equal to secant x plus c. Secant x plus c. Next, similarly we know that derivative of what is it, cosec x is minus cosec x into cot x. Though instead of writing cosec x, derivative cosec x, I'll write the minus sign to along with that cosec x. Therefore that will be derivative of minus cosec x is equal to cosec x cot x. Therefore integral of cosec x cot x dx is equal to minus cosec x plus c. Minus cosec x plus c. And also we have studied derivatives of inverse trigonometry function. So derivative sin inverse x is what? Derivative sin inverse x is 1 by root of 1 minus x square. So similarly derivative of cos inverse x is what? Minus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. So both are having derivatives as one is what sin in 1 by root of 1 minus x square, one more is minus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. Therefore all together I can write derivative sin inverse x is equal to 1 by root of 1 minus x square. So integral of sin inverse plus c. So and also derivative of cos inverse x is minus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. So I'll take minus along with the cos inverse x. Therefore derivative minus cos inverse x is 1 by root of 1 minus x square. Therefore one by root of 1 minus x square will be cos inverse x plus c. So this is one more. Cos inverse x. After that we have studied for tan inverse x, cot inverse x, all that. So together if I can write everything, so you copy all that formulas. These formulas are very important one. These are the basic formulas. We can derive from derivatives. From the derivatives we can write. Next is tan inverse x therefore integral of tan inverse x plus c. So don't forget to write plus c, integral constant or constant of integration, integral constant or constant of integration. And derivative of cot inverse x is minus 1 by root of minus 1 by 1 plus x square. So what I will write is minus, I will write along with the cot inverse x. So derivative of minus cot inverse x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square. Therefore integral of dx is equal to minus cot inverse x plus c. So you can see here, either you can write the integral of 1 by 1 plus x square is tan inverse x, or you can write minus cot inverse x also. So any one formula you can write. Suppose it is asked to write what is the antiderivative of, or what is the integral value of 1 by root of 1 by 1 plus x square, then you have two options. One is tan inverse x, or one more is minus cot inverse x. Similarly, what is the integral value of 1 by root of 1 plus 1 minus x square, then you have two options. One is sin inverse x and one more is minus cos inverse x. Any one you can write out of these two formulas. So next, integral or derivative secant inverse x. 1 by x into root of x square minus 1. Therefore secant inverse x plus c. So one more is the derivative of cosec inverse x is minus 1 by root of 1 by x in root of x square minus 1. So what we can do here, we can take that minus along with the cosec inverse x. Minus derivative minus cosec inverse x is 1 by root of 1 by x into root of x square minus 1. Therefore integral of cosec inverse x plus c. So this is inverse trigonometric functions, integrals and derivatives. Then next we have exponentials, logarithms, all that also we can write. So here you have to remember what is the integral value, not the derivative value. So next, derivative of e power x is e power x. Therefore integral of e power x plus c. Then log x is 1 by x. Integral of log x or log mod x integral of log x or log mod x we can consider, that is 1 by x. Therefore log of mod x plus c. Then after that we know that what is the value of we know that derivative of a power x is a power x into log a power x into log a. Therefore instead of writing a power x into log a, I can take a power x by Derivative of a power x is a power x into log a. So log a cancels, we get only a power x. Therefore, integral of a power x dx is equal to a power x plus c, a power x by log a plus c. So these are the integral values of a given function. We have written for e power x and we have written for log x, and so these integral values are very integral of e power x, integral of 1 by x. So integral of log x we don't have here, integral of 1 by x is log x, but derivative of log x can be defined. So and a power x integral is a power x divided by log a, but integral derivative value is a power x into log a, integral value is a power x into a power x divided by log a. So that we have to remember. Then main thing is x power n integral, x power n derivative is n into x to the power n minus 1, but derivative or integral value is x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So these are the list of basic formulas of integration, basic formulas. So next we have many other formulas of indefinite. So these are the formulas of indefinite integrals. You remember, not definite integrals. We don't have limits here. So this is defined everywhere. This is defined everywhere, not in a limit, not in the given interval, not in a given limits. It is defined everywhere. Therefore, this is indefinite integrals. So one more, we have a definite integral that has a limit. That has a limit. So these are the main formulas. So next, what it actually represents geometrically, what integration actually represents geometrically, so that we calculate now. So these are the formulas, and we know that integration is an inverse process of differentiation. That means when the derivative is given, we are finding the actual function. So these and all we have studied, but actually geometrically what it represents. So when we use this one is we know what is acceleration, we know what is velocity and acceleration. So acceleration is a rate of change of velocity. So when the acceleration when the velocity is given, when we calculate rate of change of velocity, so we get the acceleration. But when the acceleration is given, if we wanted to find out the velocity, so what we have to do? We have to find out the antiderivative, reverse process. So in that cases, we are using integration. So what it actually represents geometrically, we have to calculate. Geometrical represent or interpretation of indefinite integral. Geometrical interpretation of indefinite integrals. We are studying about indefinite integrals, not the definite integrals. If I consider a function f of x is equal to 2x, and if I calculate the derivative, or if I calculate the integral value, integral of 2x dx. So what is the integral of 2x dx? 2 is a constant. X integral is not 1. Remember, x integral derivative is 1, but integral value of x is x square by 2. 2 constant into x square by 2. Integral of x is x square by 2, then plus c x square plus c. So we are finding the integral value, means we got the curve as x square plus c. So we got y is equal to x square plus c. So c is any arbitrary constant. C can take any arbitrary values. Now, what is this y is equal to x square represent? So, if I take c value as 0, then we got y is equal to x square. So, what is that y is equal to x square? Y is equal to x square represents a parabola with the center at the origin. So, y is equal to x square is a parabola with the center at the origin. So, c can take any other real value also. If I give c as 1, then y is equal to x square plus 1. That means that is also a parabola, but the center is at y is equal to 1. Center is at y is equal to 1. So, I can give x is a 2, y is equal to x square plus 2. So, that is also a parabola, but the center is at 2, at y is equal to 2. So these y is equal to x square plus c represents a family of parabolas by considering the c by considering different values for c. By considering different values for c, we can get what is that? So this is one parabola. And this is one more parabola, and this is one more parabola. Similarly, I can draw parabolas with the center at -1 and parabolas center at -2. By giving the values to c, we can get many family of parabola. So this is at 1 and this is at 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2 and so on. -1, -2 and so on. So by giving the that means what? It gives a family of curves. So geometrically, the integral value gives a family of curves. Family of curves. So this is from the integral values we can, that depends on the value of c. And also, if I draw one line at x is equal to a, or when x is equal to 2, I'll take x is equal to a can be any value. So I'll draw one line here. This is x is equal to a. So this x is equal to a is a line that intercepts all the curves. That intercepts all the curves. Therefore, what happens when y is equal to x square plus c? So what is the derivative? If you find out, the derivative of this will be 2x plus c is a constant, so 2x, it is just 2x only. So if I find out the derivative of this, we get to 2x. That means at the point x is equal to a, if I consider, we get always 2a. And also we know that dy by dx indicates for the derivative, or dy by dx indicates the tangent to the curve. Therefore, so tangents to this curve, tangents to these curves at the point x is equal to a, or if the line is x is equal to a, or the point is x is equal to a, so for all the lines, for any value of c, so this at the point x is equal to a, dy by dx will be 2a itself. That means what? Dy by dx will be constant for all the values. So 2a is a constant. If 2a is a constant, means we can conclude the tangents are parallel. Therefore, geometrically, this represents the tangents to the curve at the given points is always parallel. So this is the conclusion of this. One is it represents a family of curves, and one more is tangents at the points are parallel. The tangents are parallel. These are the two conclusions of this geometric representation of a curve. Thank you.